Hello, hello, and welcome to I Like Art podcast. Today I am interviewing an artist from Canada, and I'm so excited. She's one of my art queen friends, and we are just going to dive in. But after I read this bio about her, I would really like for you to hit the pause button and go check out her website, which will be listed in the show notes. Go check out her work just to get an idea of what her artwork looks like. It's so fun to match the artwork to the artist and get a good visual there. So go ahead and do that. And in the meantime, after you look at her website, come back here and resume the episode and learn all about Aggie Armstrong. Today, I'm talking about Aggie Armstrong, who is known for her multimedia work that explores various states of female consciousness. Through every piece, Aggie's work serves as a record of her feelings and memories of the intersectional female experience. By combining clever compositions, hand-stitched embroidery, and vivid colors, her audience is attracted to the punchy canvases immediately and encouraged to think beyond their initial impressions to a deeper meaning of the work. Aggie's collage references to various states of the human female psyche allow her viewers to share or relate to the familiarity of the narrative provided and feel seen. And so without further ado, I'm so excited to welcome to the show the one and only Aggie Armstrong. Hi, Aggie. How are you?
Hello, everybody. Hi, Sarah. I'm so stoked for you to ask me to join you on your podcast. I love you and I love your podcast and I love everything that you do. So here I am. Thank you.
Yay. And I love you too. And it has been such a thrill and a treat to get to know you over the past year or so, I don't know, through the Art Queens. And we joined a breakout group through Celine Gabrielle in her pep rally, one of her pep rally squads. And our group is so awesome and tight knit, and it's so fun. We still meet up, but I just wanted to welcome you. And you live in Canada, so I'm in Michigan, and therefore we are automatically neighbors. And just talking before the interview, I didn't realize how close, because I'm not very good at studying the map, but you are located just outside of Toronto, correct?
Yes, I am. I'm about an hour and a half out west of Toronto. And maybe like, so from here, I think I'm about 2.5 hours from east of Detroit.
Okay.
Or does that sound? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
North of Detroit? Yes, whatever.
I just need to get in the car one day and surprise you. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So we're going to get started. And I'm so thrilled and honored to have you here and to share your work. I'm also posting this on YouTube so people can go check out and see what you look like in person. Your studio is in the background with your beautiful art on the wall.
Oh
And are
yeah.
you in your studio? I want you to kind of describe your studio because it's not in your home, is it? Or it's next to it?
No, I have two studios. I'm
Oh my
actually
goodness.
in the home. I'm in the home one right now. Okay,
Okay.
because this one is insulated. It's like on the second floor of our house. It's a studio loft.
Okay.
Um, but the second one, the bigger one, that
Mhm.
is the messier one, is actually an old milk house. I live out in rural Ontario, and so I live on a farm. A city girl like me moved to the farm, and I
Yes.
have an old milk house that I use for my bigger stuff, and I can be messy there and do all kinds of fun and cool things. The only thing is that it's not insulated, so I have to kind of cut working there from, I'd say, late October to March or April.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I'm here in the studio loft full time.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yep. And you get a lot of snow and the
Oh
elements.
yes,
Yes.
yeah. In Ontario, it's kind of like extremes. Like right now, we're having a heat wave.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be like 31 degrees Celsius, feeling like 38. So I think
Hmm.
that's like 90 Fahrenheit
Yeah.
in US terms.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the other side of the spectrum, during the winter months, it could get to minus 32
Mm.
Celsius.
Oh my
So
goodness.
I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. Like
Really cold.
really, really fucking cold.
Yes. Yes, it is so cold. Okay. Yep. So my studio's in a barn too. So I think that's really fun because
I know.
my studio's next to a cornfield and it's in a barn. And I don't know if you would ever insulate your studio, but we insulated ours and we went a little extra on the insulation and I barely have to air condition it in the summer. And I have yeah, so we can talk about that later. But anyway, I think that's so cool that you have two studios. I mean, that's just awesome. And it's,
Well,
yeah.
trust me, if my studio was like nicely insulated as yours, I would only have one. But my
Mhm.
husband is like taking his sweet ass time in helping me in
Right?
helping me insulate the outside one.
Yeah.
I like having an out of the house one because you actually feel like you're going to work. I don't
Hmm.
know how you feel about that, but
Hmm.
that's just me.
Yep. I had a studio before this one in my basement and it was definitely harder to separate. And when
Mhm.
my kids were smaller, so it was more convenient to be in the home, but then they would go in and they would screw around with my stuff and
Oh,
oh my
we know
gosh.
how that is. And the dog, I mean, the dog is like my youngest baby, and he's like he really is a crazy animal because he's like barely barely a year old, and he's just like he's a baby. He chews on everything. He's like
Yeah,
nuts.
he's so cute though.
Yeah.
All right, I want to get started on the interview. I want to rewind a little bit. I want to
Okay.
start out with young Aggie. So tell us about you. What was your childhood like? When did you know you were an artist? And tell us about your path to becoming an artist because I know that you have done some things leading up to becoming more of a not more, I'm sorry, but leading up to where you're at today. So as far as a professional artist. So tell us all the things that you want to share with us about Aggie.
A little Aggie was very quiet and shy, and she was actually a bit of an introvert.
Hmm,
I
I'm
was an only
shocked.
child. Shut up. So am I. That all
Uh,
changes though. I was an only child until I was about 6 years old, and then my brother came, and then a year later my sister came. But I kept to myself. I played with my cousin who now lives in Australia, and I was very nerdy. I was kind of like um, I think I've always been creative because I daydreamed a lot. I sang as a kid. I always loved music. I actually thought that I was going to be a Broadway star. That was my ultimate goal. From like a little kid to my teens, I wanted to be a performer.
mhm.
Um, and as children do, that you draw and you paint, but I never really thought anything about that until maybe towards my teens when I saw my uncle, who is my mother's youngest brother, and he took fine arts in university. He actually graduated and is now a professor teaching at the same university he graduated in
Oh
at.
wow.
Yeah, so that was the University of the Philippines. And so he, before being a professor, he worked in advertising agencies and all that. And he would bring his work home. And I got so inspired by him, like, making art as a way of living.
Mhm.
It's not until later on that I thought maybe I could do that.
Mhm.
Um, Before we left the Philippines, I enrolled in interior design because I thought that that would be like a gateway for me to include my creativity into like an art aesthetic, but
Mhm.
still make,
Mhm.
money and not be a starving artist. But then when I turned 18, 2 weeks later, we moved to Canada.
Okay.
Like
So you grew
literally
up in the Philippines, I think.
I grew up in the
Okay.
Philippines up until I turned 18. Two
Okay.
weeks later, we moved here. Been here ever since. And my mom actually enrolled me in the fine arts department here in London, Ontario, Canada. And I was so upset. I said, "Ma, do you not know what those fine arts people do? First of all, they don't see the sun. They're like weird, and they they wear all black. They don't socialize with people, and I don't want to be a starving artist." Well, cut to now, and look at me, weird as ever,
Right?
but loving my quirkiness and like owning it. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's kind of like the long short
Mm-hmm.
story of it all.
Mm-hmm.
I did go to fine arts all the way through, and then graduated with my degree. I was going to go to get my MFA in
Mm-hmm.
Montreal, but life happened. I deferred that for a year, and then I got a job here and there, and just said, you know what, forget it. I'm making money. Like when you're
Mm-hmm.
20, you think you know everything, right? So in
Right.
my 20s, I was just like, no, I don't need my MFA. I could teach or whatever. But yeah, so that was like kind of the long-winded story
Mm-hmm.
of it all.
I think I read on your website that you worked, was it the corporate jobs, and
Ugh,
you did that. And then finally one day you were like, no, I'm not doing this anymore. Was there a moment
yes.
that you decided you were done, or was it your creativity just kept bothering you and you needed to listen, or how did that happen?
All of it, all of it. First of all, I was
Yeah.
like I was dead inside. Like I was so unhappy. Um I was uh I was very unhappy. They were throwing money at me actually, because when you're in a corporate job, you're like earning, and you
Mm-hmm.
have health benefits and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Even with all that, I was just so unhappy, and I was cranky all the time. I was so bitchy. I was actually there was a point in time when I was coming home and I was crying to my husband, and I was saying, I can't do this shit anymore. I hate it there. I hate everybody. I don't want to do it. um I mean, I enjoyed aspects of being in marketing and communication. Certainly, I
Mm-hmm.
enjoyed working with some of the people. Some of my best friends right now I met through my corporate job. But I was also we were trying to have a baby, and it was three after three miscarriages. I just said, I gotta quit. I gotta quit because everything was like you know, uh, bad all around. So
Mm-hmm.
I just said, let's fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just get out of this shit. And as serendipitous circumstances go, I was actually let go. They were
Okay.
saying they were saying that they were kind of reestablishing the company in a different kind of sense, and then my department was cut. Little did I know is that they hired somebody younger, and then they paid her less money than they were paying me. i
Oh,
think
come
that's
on.
I think that's what happened anyway, or what I'm telling myself in my
Mm-hmm.
mind. But it was actually a blessing in disguise, because I was forced to face my current status of like, what do I do now? And so
Mm-hmm.
I went back to my creativity via photography, which was I always say that it was my gateway drug back into my creative life, because it was the easiest in the
Mm-hmm.
sense that
Easy for you. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
every family wants to get their picture taken. There's always weddings happening.
Mm-hmm.
As it turned out, I hated it all. I hated dealing with brides. I mean, I love dealing with families and babies, but it really wasn't my first love.
Mm-hmm.
Painting really was my ultimate first love, and that was, there's something about painting and working with your hands that just kind of illuminates the soul. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
So you've been painting since. I love it.
Yes. Yes, I have been painting since.
And you have a daughter, and she's beautiful. And
Yeah, well, a year after I quit, I found out I was pregnant out of the fertility protocol. Yeah, because we were going through fertility treatments, and then it's weird, as soon as I kind of relaxed because I wasn't stressed out with a job that I hated, it happened.
mhm.
And so here she is. She's 9 now.
Oh my
And
goodness.
I know.
I have a 9-year-old too. I don't
I
know.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so fun. They're at such a good age. That's a really good age. They're
Yeah,
sweet.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still sweet. They still listen to you, but I can see the preteen thing
Mm-hmm.
coming out now. This
Mm-hmm.
the sass is coming out, and my husband goes, doesn't feel good, does it?
Yeah.
When you get sassed. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like,
Oh, you wait. My
oh,
oldest is 14 and it's real. It's it's like, oh man. She's a good kid. All my girls are really good, but you definitely have those moments or those mood swings and the eye rolling and oh my goodness. I told my husband to buckle up. I said, this is going to be a few years. This is going to be a while,
well,
but
I had a taste of that. My sister, who actually lives in Texas, came for my 50th birthday this June. Can you believe it? I
yay,
I
happy
turned I turned
birthday. I
Oh,
can't
thank
believe you're
you.
50.
Well,
You're
I turned 50 on the 27th of June, and they were here to help me celebrate that. And my niece is 11. She's whip smart. She's just like, she actually reminds me of me a little bit. She's super moody and she's
mm.
super creative. But yeah, I was seeing it and I was just like, oh God, this is what I have in store for me. But yeah, they're
Yes.
good kids. They're good kids.
Aw, happy birthday. What a
Thank
great way to
you.
celebrate your birthday. Your sister was visiting you the same time my sister was visiting me. My sister lives in
Yeah.
North Carolina. So, anyway, that's so fun. The cousin time is always a good time. And, so thank you for sharing your story. And you have been painting and creating ever since. Tell us about your art. Describe it for those people who don't know yet all about you and your art. What are your paintings like? What else do you create? Tell us all about it.
Um, I, my paintings are kind of layered, much like me.
Mhm. Yes.
Yeah,
So many layers.
much like me. I start off with, vibrant colors. It's almost like an abstracted kind of version of, I don't know, like an explosion of color. And
Mhm.
then towards the end, I almost always manage to add embroidery to it, which would be kind of like the hero piece of it all. And almost always, I would say 97% or 95% of the time, the figure is female. And um, it just kind of, I make art about things that is relevant to me, my experiences, or what's happening around us with current events, because that's what artists tend to do, right?
Mhm.
We kind of express ourselves through paint and canvas and whatever else our medium is, about the things that are happening towards us, around us, and in our past. So that's what I do. Oh wait, actually, I have. Well, look at that. I have this.
That's
So
amazing.
this is made out of linen canvas, and instead of framing it normally, oh, for your podcast listeners, I'm holding a embroidery hoop.
Mhm.
I think it's about 20, maybe 18 inches in diameter,
Mhm.
and I framed a linen canvas in it, and I painted a bunch of pinks, and it's kind of like swathes of paint all over with blues and whites and golds and pinks. And then
Mhm.
at the end, I embroidered a female figure. And
Mhm. It's so
this
striking.
thank you. This was like my latest one,
Mhm.
or my last one, I should say. I made that around April, I think, of this year.
I love the contrast between the contemporary imagery with the painting, how it's abstract, but then you have this very traditional thing that, maybe our grandmas used to embroider or our parents. It's kind of not antiquated, but it's a lost art. And it's the embroidery hoop with the embroidery. So it's a very cool way of, it's like a mashup of, not, I don't want to say the old and the new, but
It's exactly
I
that, Sarah.
love that. And it's very
You described
feminine.
that. Yes, you described that like right on the nose. Actually, it started off with me kind of uh researching, or not researching, but kind of exploring the lost art of embroidery.
Mm,
It happened in the beginning of COVID, you
mm,
know, when we
mm-hmm,
first had our lockdowns about 2.5 years ago. I was thinking, why is it that these old
mm-hmm,
in quotation marks, um, kind of craftsmanship
mm-hmm,
that was relegated to women is considered a craft versus an art, you
mm-hmm.
know?
Ooh.
Meanwhile, exactly. Meanwhile, if you are male and you put it on a canvas, like there's this British artist called Grayson Perry.
Mm-hmm.
He also does embroidery on his canvases, and he is considered like, you know, it's considered highbrow art, and it's in galleries and museums and stuff like that. Is it
Mm,
because he is a white male? Is it because of patriarchy? Is it because, he's British? I don't know. Like those
right?
were the things, right? Those were the things that I was trying to explore, and with the
Mm-hmm.
masculinity versus femininity and all that kind of
Mm.
stuff in between.
I love that. I'm going to look up that artist and I'm going to put his
Mhm.
name in the show notes for everyone to look up. But that's so true. That's interesting. It's like, how did he get to where he is? And it's part of the conversation because he's a male doing this quote unquote female identified activity, even though, who
Correct.
cares? But not saying that that's what I think, but that's kind of how society views embroidering.
Hmm.
And it's something that you
Hmm.
picture your grandma doing, or, my mom loved to embroider, and it makes me think about her. I think that's so cool. And I think it's really interesting to think about um, pursuing something a new, maybe you have an idea for a new project, but mashing up two things together that don't necessarily go together. So, you know, combining contemporary painting with embroidery is so cool. So that's an idea that maybe somebody could get from listening to this podcast, or having those conversations about, femininity and expectations and this medium, and celebrating instead of, what was
Putting it down.
us.
Oh, it's only a craft. Yeah. You're not
Yes.
an artist. You're
And
an
your paintings
artisan.
are
Like
fine
that's
art. They're amazing. And so, I just love that even more. It makes me love your work even more than I already did. So it's so
Oh,
fun to hear the
thank you.
story, the
You know
backstory,
what
and
the irony?
develop. It's so amazing.
Sorry, I should learn to not speak over you.
Oh, it's cool.
The irony of it all is that I hated home ec, and it was the fourth grade. It was Miss Miller. I remember her name like it was yesterday. Miss Miller was my home ec teacher, and I hated our class, that to the extent that I would fake being ill and go to the nurse's office every time we had sewing period.
Mm.
And yeah, and look at me now.
Right? Is it something you
Yeah.
had to teach yourself, or did you know how the basics, or
I know the basics because of Miss Miller, but I just did not like her at all. She just
that's
like,
too
you know
funny?
you know how you kind of learn to love something depending on who is teaching you.
Hmm.
She just like, we just didn't jive
Mm.
very very well. I think it's like her way, or me kind of like not. recognizing her authority to be like a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe I was just lazy and I just wanted to take a nap.
Right. Maybe you weren't interested in it. Maybe you were more interested in other things
Oh
like
yeah,
art
I was
class.
definitely I was definitely interested in art class and music and all and English actually, but yeah, look at me now. Using stem stitches and like French knots and
Ooh,
I know.
sounds so fancy.
Well,
Yeah, that's too funny. I wonder if you had her for a class, say she taught at like a rec center on the weekends and you took her class now. Wonder what your take would be. If you still wouldn't like being in her class or if you would think she was awesome. It's like
who
watching a movie when
knows?
you're an adult versus when you were a
Yeah,
kid.
yeah, true enough, true enough. Or even worse, like, like I used to love 16 Candles
Hmm.
with Molly Ringwald,
Yes.
and I watched it recently with my kid, and like I was mortified with all the racist overtures,
Oh,
like
yeah.
especially Long Dak Wong. I mean, being an
Yes.
Asian and the way they treated Long Dak Wong in that movie, and I was just like, oh my god, this
Yes.
is so bad. Anyway,
Oh, right.
I only remember Jake Ryan and Molly Ringwald, so that was like, you just remember bits and pieces and you
Yes.
romanticize it. But anyway,
We've had that with our
I
kids
digress.
too. It's like, let's watch this old movie. And then you realize, oh my gosh, the Goonies is not really, we watched that as kids. Oh my goodness. And I know
I love
Punky
the Goonies.
Brewster, that's a big one
Yeah,
too. That series is full of, there's so many inappropriate things in that show.
I
And you
know
just never, I mean, when we were kids, I guess that's just how it was. Anyway,
exactly.
I digress. I want you to talk to us about your new project. I'm very excited about it. And city girl turned ultimate farmer now, as you have a project that you're working on, and it's so super cool. It's called Perennial Palettes. Tell us all about that.
Okay. This has been, I guess, my dream. As soon as I moved to rural Ontario, I saw all these things happening in my head. And I should tell you that my husband and I met in art school.
So did
So
mine.
yeah,
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 that's
we
so
we met
funny.
in art school. I was 18, he was 21. We didn't go out until like 2004, but you know,
Hmm.
we it was back in the 90s. I'm an old lady, so I'm a grandma.
No, you're not.
But yeah, we met in the 90s, and yeah, so he went to Italy and all that stuff. He moved to Italy for like almost a decade with his first wife, and he came back, and he's always had this farm with his family. He's the fourth generation to live on this farm. I
Cool.
know. And so when we started going out, we got kind of serious. Well, not kind of. We were getting serious, and he's like, "I would really want to move the farm to the city, but I can't. But since I really want you to move in with me, can you move to the farm?" And I was just like, what? What am I going to do in a friggin' farm with all my high heels and stuff? No thanks. But so I said, you know what? Okay, sure, fine, fine, fine. And then I saw this old barn here because they don't have cattle anymore. They got rid of the animals or the
Hmm.
cattle. There's this old barn here that's not being used, and like all these ideas were kind of fermenting in my head. And I was thinking, you know what? I could start with like a little dark room here, and then maybe we could turn it into like a massive studio, and then like have a little bit of a gallery on the side, and invite local artists and stuff, and it will be like an artist haven. And it's just like, hold on a second, how much is this gonna cost us, and like who's gonna do all the work? And I was just like, ugh. So he, even though he went to art school, he's like, we're completely opposite in that I'm the dreamer and he's like the pragmatic one. He
Hmm.
kind of like anchors me to the ground and says, listen, lady,
Yeah.
hold your horses.
All of this,
So
yeah, familiar.
yeah, yeah, right.
Hmm.
So anyway, I've had that thing in my head, and maybe 2021, I think it was. Um, somebody told me that they are having kind of like this Shark Tank kind of thing, wherein you pitch your idea to these regional tourism kind of officers or directors, and whoever has the best idea for a tourism experience wins, right?
Oh,
So I
sweet.
just, I know. So I entered and I won. I'm one of the three women that won.
Yes.
And my idea was to have like a plantation of like a lavender field,
Mm.
and people would come to the lavender field, enjoy the view, and I would teach art workshops. And so um, from that, it grew to a perennial kind of garden, because
Mm-hmm.
when I stick to lavender, it would be kind of like very restricted and limited to what we can do with the plot and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So now it's kind of like grown into perennial flowers. And so I've been planting for who knows how long now. Um, all the and it's almost done. I would say the plot is 90% done. We
Mm-hmm.
still have to renovate or retrofit our drive shed kind of barn so that I can use it during the workshops as well for more sustainable toilets and all that stuff. But yeah, it's happening. I can't believe it.
Oh my
Art
gosh.
and art and gardening slash farming
Yes.
brought to life.
Oh, I love that. Were you just over
I
the moon when you found out you were one of the winners?
I was beside myself. I'm just like, what? Now I have to do all this work.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a great learning experience for me. I've always kind of like, I know how farming is on kind of like the big picture of it all. I know it's hard and long hours, and it's, everybody says, oh, it's such an honorable job, and or employment and occupation and vocation, really, because I don't know, you I you don't really wake up and dream of being a farmer as soon
Mm-hmm.
as you're born, or I
Mm-hmm.
guess some people do, but I that was never my calling. And
Mm-hmm.
so when I did this, it was just like pure grit and determination, that I like, there are days when I would actually be in tears on the field because it's so hard and you're so tired and it's so hot and you're dirty and you're like, I haven't seen like, a deep conditioning massage for my hair.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a quite a feat, but
Mhm.
look at me, Sarah. I'm fucking doing
You
it.
are. Do you have help? I feel like you do you I hope I wish I lived near you. I would help you. Like,
My husband, my poor husband. I say poor husband because his honeydew list has gone from like, 100 from the house to
mhm.
like a million from the house to the farm. But he has taught me how to, you know, do stuff, and he has helped me with like the bigger things with the farm equipment. Partially because he doesn't want me to be driving the tractors and the excavator, because I have a reputation with my driving. He's like, the excavator can only go as fast as like, 18 kilometers like an hour. So you can't really like gun it. And he's scared with my you know, with my driving skills that I would wreck all of the tractors and everything. But he has helped me. No, I've been doing most of the planting myself. But yeah, yeah,
Okay.
it's a mom and pop endeavor.
Mm, I love it. So my imagination is going crazy and I want to see more pictures. But maybe you're not ready to do a big reveal. How big is this garden?
Well, I started off like I'm so ambitious. Okay, I wanted a full like acre and a half, almost 2 acres.
Mhm.
When I saw that, like in theory, I'm just like, oh my God, it's gonna be amazing. Everybody's gonna have a tour, blah blah blah. And then I saw what an acre and a half to 2 acres is really all about, and I'm like, oh shit, that's a lot of hard work. So we kind of as my husband does, he kind of pulled me to back to earth and said, listen, why don't you start small
Mm-hmm.
and see how it goes, and then we can expand,
Mm-hmm.
a little bit later on. And so I'm looking out my window right now from the studio loft because I can see my plot right out there,
Mm.
and it's half an acre,
Mm-hmm.
half an acre of goodness,
Mm-hmm. That's a lot.
with it's a
It's
lot.
a
It's a
lot.
lot for a small person like myself who is
No, it's
not.
gonna be amazing. That's a lot of plants. That's a lot of flowers. So,
I have a lot of flowers. It's going to be amazing. All the flowers, the lavender, the sunflowers, the phlox, they're all in.
mm,
Um, we're just waiting for the landscaping part with the sod and the gravel and the footpaths. That's coming this week. So
oh my gosh.
yeah, my launch, my pilot with the tourism people is going to be in August, end of August, and
Mhm.
then hopefully it'll be open to the public after that.
Oh my goodness. Stay tuned. How can we find out more? How can we get the update from you?
Well, follow me on Instagram. I have two accounts now. I have my personal and art one, which is Aggie_Armstrong.
Mhm.
And then for this tourism project, it is Perennial Palettes. So if you go to one or the other, you can find me with the business and the personal one. Um,
I
but
love it.
yeah, it's Aggie_Armstrong, and the other one is Perennial Palettes.
Can you quickly
So
describe? Oh,
follow for details. But yeah, it's all there.
yes. Okay. So quickly describe what an experience would look like if you wanted to check this place out. Do you have to book ahead of time, or what is that gonna look like?
Yes, you do. So it's all going to be on the website right now. It's going to aggiearmstrong.com/experiences. And we're still working on the website, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And then you will be brought to the Perennial Palettes kind of booking.
Mm-hmm.
You book whether it's a weekend or a weekday that you want. There's a little bit of a difference in the experience, not much, but there's a little bit of a premium for the weekend. So you book it, and then you come here. It's a small group of people, so that like it's an intimate group. We're one-on-one. I don't book anything over the maximum would be 12,
Mm-hmm.
and that's like on the maximum end. I kind of choose to do 6 to 8 people, maybe 9,
Mm-hmm.
so you have all my attention and like the full experience. You start here, we do a meet and greet, and then right off the bat I make you do like a breathing meditation kind of exercise before you tour the plot. And then you tour the plants, you kind of literally stop and smell the flowers. And
Mm-hmm.
then we move into the workshop part of it, where I teach you how to start off with watercolors. And then towards the end, you will end up with a painting of a bouquet of flowers from the plot. So it's a combination of art and a mindfulness experience that I'm a huge advocate of, because as you know, Sarah, painting could be like a very mindful experience, right? So
Mm-hmm.
with art and nature kind of combined, it just kind of fosters mental health and mindfulness and all the great things that art and nature kind of give us all in one.
Oh, I love it. That sounds amazing. I love this so much. I'm so excited. I want to book right away. Is there lodging nearby? And how long does the experience take? Are there different
So
packages, maybe?
the actual experience takes about 3 hours,
Mm-hmm.
and that includes the tour, the being one with nature, and the workshop. And then we have like a little feast towards the end, and we share food, we share our stories together, and then you bring home like a little art piece of
Mm-hmm.
your own, plus all the supplies that I provide you.
Oh.
Because most most of the people that will come, I want to encourage them to either start or kind of reconvene with their creative journey. Some
Mm-hmm.
people would have never touched watercolors or paintbrushes in their lives. Or
Mm-hmm.
some people say, "Oh, I've dabbled, but not really an artist." The premise of this is you just go with your creativity. We don't diminish any effort we put in being creative or starting a creative journey. None of that. None of that. So you're gonna bring home artist grade supplies so that you can continue your creative journey when you leave the experience.
Oh my gosh. I love this so much. I'm so excited because you just have it, you have it down. Sounds like we all need this, right? And
Right, especially now.
watercolor is very accessible because um it's it's something where you can have a pad of paper or even sheets of paper and your little thing of paints and your brushes, easy to put away, easy to bring out, and it's very
Yeah,
calming.
exactly. Yep.
The movement of the water on the paper is very calming. And I know my oldest daughter, she really got into watercolors for those reasons. And she just has, gets her sketchbook out and starts watercolor painting. And it just puts her in this very zen, calm, happy place. And it's
Right.
very therapeutic and it's wonderful. So you are like the gateway drug. You're the one that's getting them hooked into art, which is kind of what I hope with the podcast is to encourage people to get their art
Right.
supplies out and create again and be creative, whether you think you're good at it or not, doesn't matter. So I love that. And I love that you touched on that where there's no judgment and there's respect towards the artwork. And it's not a place of, it's an encouraging, positive place where, people feel accepted. And it's like when you go to the gym for the first time and you're around all of
Mm-hmm.
these people that are in really good shape. And it's like, this
Yeah.
is a space for everybody. So I love that. And I really hope that my listeners go check out your place and book an experience. And I know this is on my list. I'm going to have to come. Now I'm really
You're,
going to have
you're
to come visit.
you're gonna
And
have to come. And with lodging, the good thing about this is that I am working with other businesses in the area so that we can kind of collaborate with the culinary kind of uh, what do you call this, programs in the area too. And lodging, as you said, there's like a place here called Elmhurst Inn Spa. It's about
mm,
15 minutes away from door to door.
mhm,
And you can, you know that would be a place that I would recommend to stay overnight and
mhm,
tour the Oxford County even more after the workshop, before or
mhm.
after. I'm in cahoots with Tourism Oxford to kind of promote this for our own little county here, so that everything is that it's the art, the gastro kind
Mhm,
of
mhm.
experience is up. So it's not just like one thing, it's like for all the senses, right?
Yes.
So
And I want to add, what a cool idea if you are a professional artist to take what you're doing as an example of something they could do. So, every local community is looking for new things for people to do, especially now after all of the things we've been through the last couple of years. People are looking for things to do. And so, as an artist, to partner with a local chamber of commerce or tourism counsel and say, I'm an artist. This is what I do. I offer this. What can we do? How is there a way that we can offer a tour, or maybe it's multiple artists banding together to create a studio tour weekend or whatever. I think that's just really cool to think outside of the box and position yourself in a way that um, brings people in from the area and showcases what a great outreach for you as an artist too, to expose more people to your art. And so all of the things lead to other things, and definitely elevates whatever all the other things you're doing in your creative practice are going to be elevated by doing this amazing project and offering these experiences. I love it so much, Aggie. So it sounds like right now, I was going to ask you what a typical day looks like for you, but I'm guessing you spend a lot of time out in your garden. And what else? What else do you do creatively? I would like to, you can either talk about what a typical day looks like, or what do you do outside of painting and gardening that's creative?
Um, well, I don't know.
Yeah, you have a,
I, I don't know what else I've been doing before this. It
yeah.
seems like painting and planting is all I've been doing lately.
Mm-hmm,
Actually, more planting than painting, but I
mm-hmm,
do try to um, rest as well, especially
mm-hmm,
with the packed schedule that I have lately.
mm-hmm,
I tend to my daughter's needs.
mm-hmm,
She actually, I bring her into the experience, whether it be the gardening experience or the painting or the art experience. I want her to see that, being an artist doesn't mean uh, like what it used to mean for us, Sarah. Like
mm-hmm,
you remember when we had to like think it's one or the other?
mm-hmm,
The thing I learned most about through art queens is that art can give you different sources of income. And I
mm-hmm.
know that you're talking about like downtime and
Yeah.
create, but this is like the life that I lead now, is that even when I'm not painting per se for an exhibit or like a studio tour, I'm still creating with my hands.
Mm-hmm,
And that, I think that is the uh, foremost beauty of being a creative and being an artist,
mm-hmm.
right? You feed not only your soul, but I don't know, your physical and your actual kids. You can actually feed your kid
Yes.
with all these kind of avenues of profit
Mm-hmm,
earning
mm-hmm.
that we do. So a typical day is always kind of just trying to figure out things that I can do. And before having a kid, I don't even I don't even know how it is to like sleep in anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
That,
know. I get that
right?
for
Like
sure.
it's like the days are full and not long enough. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I didn't really answer your question,
No,
but
I think you did a perfect job because I didn't mean to interrupt you. Are you good?
no, go
Okay.
ahead. Yeah.
I think you did a perfect job because I have interviewed other artists and I feel like I get a combination of answers when I ask, what do you like to do creatively outside of your practice? And there's no wrong answer. I have artists, well, there's different ways you can answer it too. Like for me, I have a lot of creative hobbies that I really like, but at
Mhm,
this season in my life, I just don't have a lot of time for them. For
mhm,
instance, I love to embroider. I haven't embroidered anything in 5 years or so, or sewing. I sewed
mhm,
one thing this summer and it probably will be a year before I get my sewing machine out. So there's definitely things that you can enjoy doing, but at the same time, I will have quite a few artists say, I'm so creative. Creativity is my occupation, and therefore, when I'm not working or creating, I'm actually resting or reading. And there's there's no layer of shame to that. That's absolutely, I think it's so nice to hear, because some people just are go, go, go. Like my sister, for instance, she wakes up and she's on the go, busy making things or doing things all day until she goes to bed. And that's just her. And for other people, if you're in your garden and you're painting and you're taking care of your family, you're just probably so freaking exhausted and need recharge. And so there's no shame in that. I think it's good to talk about everybody's life looks differently, and we all have different seasons and times in our lives, and when we're busy or we're building something and creating, like you said, as an artist, even drafting an email and talking to your audience is creative. And there's just a lot of ways that we can be creative as business owners. So I love your answer. I don't think there's anything wrong with what you said. Do you have time to keep going?
Thanks.
I don't want to
Yes, I
take up.
do.
Okay.
No. I booked the morning for you, my friend.
Okay. I don't want to take up too much of your time. So I have a few more questions that I really want to ask you.
Sure.
What would a dream project, maybe you're in the middle of this dream project, right? You said you had this vision of the farm and what you wanted to do with it, but even kicking the bucket further down the road, what would a dream project or even collaboration be for you? I think it's so cool to have somebody just speak out to an audience, just because it just makes it a little bit more real and it's so interesting. So what do you have?
My dream, I actually want to move to France and do this in Provence or somewhere. I don't know that, like, I don't know what it is about France, but I just feel so at home there. Or I don't know, it could probably be Italy too, but like France has like a special place in my heart that I just want to be there all the time. I find it so utterly inspiring. And yeah, so be there and do exactly what I'm
Mhm.
doing here. Maybe
Mhm.
have like a half an acre plot and have people come and, you know, get watercolor, learn watercolor and art workshops from me en français.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
yeah, right. I just want, and my biggest dream is I just want to be around to see my daughter be who she wants to be and be happy. Now I'm all getting emotional.
Mhm.
As an older mom, I never really thought about, like, mortality and all this thing called life until I had my child. And I want to just, I don't want to live to be 120 because I'm super vain and I just, want to have like great hair and great nails and great makeup all the time. And I'm not J-Lo with like a glam squad who can do that for me. So maybe until, like, I don't know, maybe 85, 90, so that she's like in her 40s and I'm just sure
Mhm.
that she's doing what she wants to do and that she's happy and healthy. That's really it, right?
Yeah.
I just want her to be loved. And I don't know. Now
Yeah.
I'm all
Uh,
emotional. It's
I'm
probably because
emotional
I'm
too. It's
so
emotional to think
tired.
about that. And it's emotional to think about, you're pursuing your passions and you only want that for your kids too. So,
Yeah.
oh, you're such a good mom. You are.
Am I?
You are. All right.
Oh,
You ready to keep going? Tell
yes.
us, I know you have some exciting things coming up. You have this Perennial Palettes project, obviously, but what other projects and exciting things do you have coming up in 2022? One is one, I have major FOMO, but it's okay.
Well, our lovely friend and actually fearless leader, Celine Gabrielle, and I are going to, speaking of France, we're going for our artist residency for 2 weeks in France. And get this, it's in a chateau.
I
We're
know.
going to,
You're going to the chateau, not just
we,
any.
I know, we are going to Chateau Arquevo in October, and we are going to just paint for 2 weeks and drink wine while we paint and eat croissants while we paint and all the things. I'm very excited to be spending this time with Celine. Like, I've been
Mhm.
following Celine for a while now on Instagram, and we the three of us are in the Art Queens membership, which we absolutely love.
Mhm.
And I have like this thing with Celine. Before I even met her, I thought that Celine and I could be good friends because,
Mhm.
she's fun, she's spunky, she's like no bullshit, and she's just like so real. But she always gave me kind of like uh love to hate her feeling, because she's so good in her craft. She's like
Mm-hmm.
such an excellent artist that there were times when I would unfollow her on social media because I got feelings of inadequacy because she's just so good. But
Mm-hmm.
then when I actually finally met her, she's like none of that. She has no air about her.
Mm-hmm.
She is so open. And I think my love for her even grew when we met in person in Toronto at the Artist Project in April. We both were exhibitors at the Artist Project. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so I'm just very excited to like have her for 2 straight weeks, because 4 days with her was not enough
Yeah.
in April. So yeah, it's so exciting.
I know.
So
Celine's
exciting.
awesome. Oh my gosh. Yes. And I still want to invite myself. I have invited myself. I'm coming, but I don't think there's room at the chateau for me. And that's going to be so incredible. Oh, I'm so happy for you and for Celine. And I can't wait to follow you guys on Instagram when you're there. And oh, it's
Yeah,
cool
there's gonna be
because
a
I
lot
can,
of shenanigans.
yes, I see you doing it. And I feel like this is possible. I can do it too. So that's super cool. And anything else? Are you prepping anything for the holiday season, or do you have any upcoming shows?
Oh yeah, so the sister show of Artist Project is one of a kind show in Toronto,
Okay.
and it's also done in the spring, but they have like a big Christmas show,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm a part of. It's 11 days from November 24th to December 6th or something like that. I'm
Mm-hmm.
misspeaking about the dates, but it's around there. But I'm only doing the last 6 days because I don't think I can do 11 days. It might kill me
Mm-hmm.
for my first time. It's my first time with them this year. So I'm doing the last 6 days of the show. So I don't know. Maybe you can come then too, Sarah. I
Yeah.
can give you some tickets for the one of a
Oh,
kind show.
oh, I'd love to
Um,
check that out.
yeah, it's one of the biggest ones here in Ontario. In fact, in Toronto, it's the biggest one.
Mm-hmm.
And then, if I can actually plug something, I am part of this art competition right now,
Yes.
and it's called Art Comp at 100 Kellogg,
Mm-hmm.
and it's in London, Ontario, my hometown. I am part of group of 100 artists showing their art at 100 Kellogg, and it's for 100 days, and it started in May 28th, I believe it was,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going on until September 7th, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And you have up until September 6th to vote for my piece, which is the Pink Woolly Thinking. I'll send
Okay.
you a I'll
Yes.
send you
Send me a link.
a copy. Yes, I'll send you a link in a copy of the a photo of the
Mm-hmm.
illustration of the art that's in there. And if you vote for me, I would love you for it. There's a People's Choice Award that an artist can win,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, there's a jury award, but there's so many. I mean, amazing artists in the competition that I'm just like, there's no hope for me to get that jury award. So I'm just hoping at least I could get the People's Choice. Kind of
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm the People's Princess, like Princess Diana.
Yes.
So
Yes, we're gonna vote
yes.
for you. I'm gonna put the link in
Yeah,
the show notes and we can go check that out. Oh, that's awesome. And the one of a
I
kind show, I do want to check that out. I think they do that in Chicago too.
yes, they
And
do. They
yes.
do.
So do you have to be there during the every day of it? Do you have to be
Yes.
okay?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
so
a
it's a
lot.
bunch of like makers. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like really everything is one of a kind, because
Mm-hmm.
everything is pretty much handmade and by the artist, and it's like a juried show as well.
Mm-hmm.
So just like the one in Chicago, there are a lot of artisans and artists and clothing designers and all that. So yeah, come take a peek. And
Yes.
your Christmas list would be like, I'm almost positive your Christmas list will be done in one shot during the show.
Mm-hmm. That's super cool. And there's items
Mhm.
from a variety. It's not all just gift items. It's art, like you said, right?
Yeah, I'm in the art kind of category of it
Mm-hmm.
all.
Mm-hmm.
There's candles, there's paintings, there's clothing, there's I don't know, dining stuff. There's even like jams and whatnot and jewelry. It's all one of a kind, and it's like all Canadian,
Mm.
from coast to coast, from the east coast of Canada to the west coast of Canada. So yeah, and I think there are some American cousins
Mm.
um, that's part of the show. So
Okay.
yeah, come check it
So cool.
out.
I would love to. Okay. How now we're gonna vote for you for this art competition. How can we best support you, Aggie? Do you have a mailing list? Do you want us to purchase artwork from your website? Tell us all of the things. Tell us where you're at so we can find you, follow you, purchase your art, go check it out. Let us know.
Yes, 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 yes. All of those things. Um, mailing list is free. You can come and join. I don't send out a lot of emails to inundate your inbox,
Mm-hmm.
because I hate being inundated in my
Mm-hmm.
inbox. So I try to do the same. The only time that you'll hear kind of like multiple times from me is if I am launching a new collection
Mm-hmm.
of original paintings, or if in an event or in a show. You can purchase original art through my website at aggiearmstrong.com. And like I've mentioned, the Perennial Palettes kind of booking is going to be linked from aggiearmstrong.com to its own platform as well. What else? Yeah, I can even commission me, although I don't have the time right now
Yeah.
to make massive commissions. I
Mm-hmm.
do those. Yeah, I do
Mm-hmm.
original painting commissions as well, and on Instagram,
Yeah.
and through your podcast.
It's so fun to follow you on Instagram, and I love seeing all the behind the scenes. So I definitely recommend that. And your website is beautiful, and there's really cool videos on your website to kind of give you a sense more of who Aggie is. And your website is very well done. I will say
Thank
that
you.
I got to spend some
Thank you
time on
so
that.
much.
And your artwork is so beautiful and energetic. It's just such a cool reflection of who you are as a person, and would look great in any home. And so I
You're so
love,
nice,
yeah.
Sarah. Like I can't, like hearing you talk about me, like I'm. It's like some other people you're, or some other person you're mentioning. I feel like
No, it's
stop it.
you. It's you. I'm so proud of you. It's just really fun getting to know you and your work. And I'm so happy to share it with my audience. I know they're going to love everything that you're up to. One final question is the perennial palettes. What age group? So it's not just for professional artists, it's obviously for
Oh
anybody.
no, yeah.
What ages are you catering to for that?
Oh, I'm from like 30 to like I don't know whoever.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
As long as you have a drive to take care of your I guess your mental health, and your creative soul and all that stuff. And even if you don't think that you have a creative bone in your body, I think you are the actual person that you should give this a try. Who should
Mm-hmm.
give this a try? Like you
Mm-hmm.
never know what creativity can do to you. So yeah, I think kids might be bored with
Mm.
this,
Mm-hmm.
like like younger children,
Yeah.
but I don't know, 20, 25 to
Yeah.
whomever.
Like
Yeah.
adults, basically.
Yes,
Yeah.
adults. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Me down the line, I'm thinking of having something for younger children, or like young adults and like
Mm-hmm.
lower.
Mm-hmm.
Because my daughter says maybe I could teach somebody
Mm-hmm.
an art class. I'm like, yeah, maybe.
Or even like an art camp situation in the summer. You could have kids come, at a targeted age group, kind of like what I'm doing with my studio. And but I definitely wouldn't open it up to kids of all ages. It's really nice to have a group of, you
Yes,
know,
8 to 12 or something.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Do you have time for our rapid round of questions? Because we
Ooh,
want
I
to know
love
more.
these things. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right.
I love
No
these
judge.
things.
Absolutely. This is the no judgment zone. So whatever
Okay.
you think of top of mind, we just want to know more about you, Aggie. So
Okay.
these are the important questions. Number one, what is your favorite color?
Pink right now. Pink.
Me too. Always. What shade of pink?
Oh, fuchsia. But
Ooh,
I know, like bright neon fuchsia, but I'm a equal opportunity pink lover. So
okay.
all shades of pink.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Work beverage of choice while you're working in the studio.
Oh, in the studio.
Mhm.
Coffee. Oh my God, I sound so boring now.
No.
Coffee, but in the chateau, I am going to have wine.
Mhm.
Probably white wine.
Mhm.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
It just depends on the creative situation,
Yes,
right?
correct.
Okay.
Right.
How do you like your coffee?
Black
Mm,
and bitter like my soul.
me too. Sometimes you just need some coffee. What if you're working in the garden? What's your work beverage of choice?
Oh fuck, Gatorade, because
Yeah.
it's been so hot. I
Right.
need all the electrolytes. Yeah, I
Yes.
can't be dehydrated out there.
No. Okay. Book and or movie mention.
My favorite?
Yeah, like
What?
something you want to mention, book or movie that you love. Doesn't have to be anything profound. It could be just top of mind.
Um, Book. Oh, Fall on Your Knees by Anne Marie MacDonald. She's a
Mm,
Canadian author and playwright. Love, 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 love that. And
okay.
there's another one by oh my gosh, I forget her name, but she's French, and it's Sarah's Keys or something like that.
Okay.
I can't remember, but that has stuck with me, as well as The Reader
The
and all the
Reader.
authors. Yeah, I'm going to send you the links because I can't remember authors, and my
Okay.
brain is fried clearly.
Yeah. It's cool.
Movie.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, the Sense and Sensibility with Kate Winslet and Emma Thompson is one of my absolute favorites. And hello, Steel Magnolias. I can quote that movie, yet from front to back.
You can.
Shelby, yeah, drink the juice, Shelby, drink the juice.
I need to see that one again. So
I
good.
love that movie.
All right, Aggie, I need to know this, but everybody gets their ideas and inspiration in different places. I get mine while I'm driving around in my car. Some people get them while they're in the shower. Where do you get your best ideas and inspiration from?
Pinterest.
Okay.
everywhere,
Every
everywhere. But I think, yeah, I do scroll Pinterest and the gram quite a bit. Yeah,
okay. You get
yeah,
inspired. That's cool. I know.
yeah,
Pinterest is
yeah.
dangerous. I have to cut myself off from Pinterest because I get
I
like
know.
super excited and then I have to go to bed or,
And then, yeah, it's like I started off with Pinterest at 10, and then all of a sudden it's 3 a.m. I'm like, oh, what the
what?
hell am I looking
I know. You
at?
pin a million things. It's cool.
Yes.
All right. Is there something that you wish you were good at, but you're not? It could be music, it could be sports, it could be anything.
Oh God, I don't really like sports to say I wish I was good at sports, but I wanna, I don't know. I want to I guess be a better dancer. And
Mm,
not just like, not like, I mean, I can move. I could move,
okay. I've
please.
seen you. Yes.
Yeah, you can see my moves, but like for real, kind of like that hardcore choreography with like
Oh, yeah.
singing. Yeah,
Hmm.
like hi Beyonce,
Yes. I can see
J
it.
Lo. Yeah, like that. Once they stop performing, they're like out of breath. That kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yes,
You need to make a music video for your art,
I know. Maybe
right?
I will.
In your garden. It would be so awesome. First, you
Maybe
have
I'll
to
do it
hire a
at the
choreographer.
chateau. I'll ask Celine to like film me during the chateau.
Maybe you and Celine could do one together.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so fun.
Oh my
So
god.
one of the reasons why I wanted to start the podcast is because I had an art professor when I went to school and she went to, I believe it was Indonesia, for an artist residency or sabbatical. Anyway, she was over
Mhm.
there making art, and she came back and she gave a talk, and she said that over there artists were treated like rock stars, and they literally would
Really?
have these like larger than life posters of the artist outside of, the art museum or the gallery. And they would have a big celebration, and these visual artists were treated like rock stars. And so maybe you can take that idea and make your own music video.
Shit, I want that.
Isn't that
I
awesome?
want that. Yeah. Can you
So, and
imagine me at 50 years old becoming a fucking pop star?
yes, or just like that's part of
A
your
TikTok
thing
star?
with your art. I don't
Oh,
know.
maybe.
Anyway, okay. Do you have a creative challenge for my listeners today? Something that you feel compelled to encourage my listeners to do?
Start today. Start now. That's my challenge. Whatever it is, start that manuscript. Start doodling. Start that portrait that you wanted to, finish, or start with watercolors. Start it. Just start and do it. That's my challenge for you.
Oh, I love it. It's so good. It's so
Because
good.
all we have is now. All we have is now, babies. All we have is now. So do it today.
Yes. And just take a baby step, right? Doesn't have to be anything
Yeah.
crazy.
It doesn't
Right.
have to, like, it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to think that it has to be at the, you know, museum.
Mm-hmm.
No. Picasso started small too.
Mm-hmm.
Frida
So
Kahlo
true.
started on her bed. So who gives a shit where you do it? Just do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I love it. Thank you so much, Aggie. This was
Oh,
wonderful. It's such a treat to talk to you, and never get enough time with you queens. And gosh, I'm just so proud of you. And I just think that
thank
you
you.
are such an inspiration, and you have so much energy. It's just magnetic. And I cannot wait to see your project unfold and bloom in more than one way. I can't wait to see it take off. I can't wait to see your residency and your exhibitions in the future, your work. And I'm just so honored to talk to you today and to feature you on the
Oh,
show.
Sarah, you're gonna make me, like, I'm all but clamp, Sarah. I just wish I could give you a hug.
I know.
You know what? Like I told you at our last meeting with our little pep rally group. You are you're. I can't even articulate it because I feel so much love for you, that you're such a bright star, and you're just a warm hug all around, Sarah. And
Mm,
you're so talented, and I just love you so much.
so much mutual love. Wow, that's so sweet. Thank
Oh.
you. I know, big hugs. My neighbor, my Canadian friend and neighbor, and we will get together at some point. So
For
it's
sure, for
on my
sure.
list. So thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope this conversation with Aggie has lit a little fire inside of you and has encouraged you to just go for it. And until then, I can't wait to see you guys next week on another episode of I Like Art. Thanks again, Aggie, so much. Have a beautiful day. Thank
Thank
you.
you, and have a beautiful day, everybody.
All right. Bye.